how is it going? I'm really excited to make this video. This is a question that I get a lot, sort of what my perspective is on having two kids so far apart. And actually I get some really weird questions around this as well. Like, did you put them that far apart on purpose? I don't know, it's just weird. I feel like people tend to get really curious. So I wanted to make this video for you guys today to let you know what I absolutely love about having my two kids so far apart in age. And so if you don't know my story, my daughter was 8 when my son was born. So my daughter Delilah is currently 10 years old and my son is 2.5. So it was almost 8 years apart. I was like a lot of women. I wanted to have multiple children for sure. Delilah was born when Brian and I were both really young. So we were 21 when she was born. And a lot of people might say, that's not so young. To me, it was young. I felt really young. I was still having a lot of my bills paid for by my parents because I was just finishing college. Brian and I were somewhat new in our relationship when she was born. We had been together only for about a year, although we had known each other for several years, at least 3 years, I would say. She was also a preemie, so there was just a lot of factors. And I knew as a working mom, because I guess I've always been a working mom. I was working when she was born. I don't know, it's a lot to try to think about juggling a kid and then juggling work and then adding another child into that, especially an infant, with a risk of potentially having another infant in the NICU, because my daughter was a preemie, and so they don't really know like what caused her to be a preemie, and so they didn't know what my risk was for having another preemie. So there was just a lot to consider. I also wanted to go back and get my master's in teaching. I knew that I wanted to further my education, and I didn't see how that would be possible to have another kid close in age to Delilah and chase that dream. So I kind of put my dreams of having more kids on the back burner, which, you know, it's just one of those things in life that you make that choice. And the more that I thought about it and the more that I watched friends have like 2 kids under 2 or even like 3 kids under 2, I had a friend that had twins and then she had another baby and they were all under the age of 2. Watching people have that many kids that close in age who were that young, it just seemed like it was really, really challenging in a lot of ways. It also seemed like it could be really cool and it seemed like it was really working for their family, but it didn't seem like, with everything that I had going on in my life, everything that Brian and I were trying to build in our lives, because again, we were really young, it just didn't seem like it would be a good fit for us. And so after the longest intro ever, to kind of set up the story for you, here are the things that I love about having my kids far apart in age. So the first reason why I liked having my kids far apart in age is I don't think that I would have had the energy to work, be pregnant, and chase a toddler all at the same time. So my daughter at 7 years old was pretty self-sufficient, and she's just continued to get more self-sufficient as she gets older. And so she was able to take care of a lot of her own needs when I was pregnant. And so I was able to really just kind of focus on being pregnant. And if I had had my kids closer in age, even if Delilah were a preschooler or early elementary age, that kind of thing, she wouldn't have been as self-sufficient as she was when I had my son. For me, that was a positive. I was just 30, you know, and I keep thinking about when I was pregnant with Delilah, I was running around doing all kinds of things. I was working as a lifeguard and a swim instructor. I was going to college. I was doing a lot of things. I was really busy. Looking back at my pregnancy with Harrison when I was 30, I don't think I could have done all of that, chased a toddler, and been pregnant at the same time. So that is one of the reasons why I was so thankful that we had a bigger age gap, because Delilah was such a help to me when I was pregnant and in the early days when Harrison was born, and it just made things a lot simpler, especially with all of the complex things that we have going on in our life. The second reason why I liked having my kids far apart in age, and I kind of already touched on this a little bit, is that I have the help of a kid who can actually help me. So that's not to like shade anybody or say like that your kids aren't helping or whatever, but it's just kind of facts that a 2-year-old can't like physically help as much as a 7-year-old can. And Delilah's chores before Harrison was born were pretty minimal, but as I got further into my pregnancy and now as Harrison has kind of gone through his infant and toddler stage, her responsibility in this family has really picked up. And I'm not sure who would have picked up that slack if Delilah was a littler kid. And I'm sure that it would have been me or Brian, or we would have made it work. I see families do it all the time and I applaud them, but just for us, like having an actual extra pair of hands around, it was really nice. It was really great, honestly. So that's another thing that I really liked about having my kids far apart in age. The third thing that I liked about having my kids far apart in age is that my daughter understood exactly, well, you know, age appropriately, what was going on and was truly excited to experience it with us. I see a lot of parents explaining pregnancy and that a baby is coming to a younger kid, like 15 months to 2 years, and while they might get excited about holding a baby doll, they don't, or they're not able to actually grasp what is about to happen. And I don't think necessarily Delilah grasped everything that was going to happen and everything that was going to change, but she understood a good portion of it. She knew that mommy's growing belly meant that I was going to have a baby. She knew that the baby was real. She knew that babies cried and made diapers, and she just knew a lot about what was going to happen. She also knew that she was going to get to hold the baby and help with the baby, and she was just so excited for all of those things, and she was genuinely excited. And I loved being able to sit and talk to her and have just real conversations about what was going to happen. So I really liked that about having an older kid while I was pregnant and having my kids far apart in age. And the last thing that I really enjoy about my kids being far apart in age is their relationship. So yes, Delilah will have a different relationship with her brother, and yes, she had a different relationship with him when he was a baby, but that didn't make it any less special. So I was actually almost 5 when my little brother was born, and honestly, we were pretty close. My husband was pretty far apart in age from his oldest sister and then from his youngest sister, just because of where they were placed in the family. And Ryan and his oldest sister actually, I think, are the closest. Don't tell his other sisters if they're watching. Hi guys. They were the closest as far as relationships go. I don't necessarily think that age really has anything to do with how connected your kids are. I honestly think it has more to do with personalities and how well they're able to click. Of course, Delilah's gonna have a different relationship than she would if she were 2 or 3 when the baby was born, when Harrison was born, but that doesn't make her relationship with him any less special. In fact, now that he is almost 3, watching them play together is so cool because she teaches him things. She teaches him how to ride on his scooter. She teaches him how to pick up his toys. She teaches him how to eat with a spoon. It's just all of these little things that I didn't even anticipate them bonding over are so cool to watch. So those are the reasons why I really love having my kids far apart in age. If you have a big age gap between your kids and you have any information to share or anything that you really love about having a big age gap in your kids, feel free to leave that down in the comments below. If you're a parent of 1 child right now and you're considering having a larger age gap between your kids, feel free to leave any questions that you have of me down in the comments below as well. I would love to answer those. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Caitlin and this is Beans and Monkeys. If you like what we're doing here, I would love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below. I would love to have you with us in this fabulous community. The people here are just so wonderful. This is my favorite little corner of the internet. If you are one of my current subscribers, I cannot believe that we are about to be a community of 10,000. Like, that just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Thank you for all of you who have really pushed our BAM fam, our community, to get to this point. I honestly never thought that this channel would grow in this way. So I so appreciate each and every single one of you. And I know I say that a lot, but I really do. I honestly do. Make sure though that you do have your bell notifications turned on. I read an article the other day that said that YouTube's been having some issues with their subscription boxes, and it was actually written by YouTube, so my videos may not be showing up in your subscription boxes. So if you hit the bell notification, you will know every single time I have a new video coming out. And if you want to find me on other social sites, I am over on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can find me over on all of those platforms. And by the way, you guys, have fun today.